It's difficult, man. It's very difficult. You work your ass off for so many years, for 8, 10 years,
Hmm.
to get yourself till a certain standard of living where you are able to pay uh, bills for that certain minimum expense that you're also able to do. And you're able to afford, in the season, you're doing a lot of gigs. The
Yeah.
payment scale is decent enough. You're able to make a living for yourself.
Hmm.
You
Hmm. Hmm.
can settle, people, musicians, professionals who are married, they can think of having a kid maybe, there's responsibility that they can also take. Buy a new car, buy a new house kind of scenario.
Yeah. I feel artists are my favorite breed of human beings. It's because they're more connected to their feelings, their surroundings, their roots. They're aware about how they're feeling, their thoughts, and rarely I have seen an artist who's trying to suppress their feelings because they might get judged or be made fun of. Personally, for me, music as an art has helped me throughout my childhood. I was a shy boy, I still am, but back then it was very disturbing to not be able to talk to people, have proper conversation. So music became a medium for me to express myself, get in touch with my real emotions, have like a sort of community around music, right? So community of, like, say, listeners, the audience, the performers. So it's almost like a family, and it's like everything that I do and think about it is all rooted to music. So I am really a big fan of the people who actually help out artists to monetize their skills, right? Uh, they preserve the culture of art, the subgenres of art, because if you won't be able to monetize your art or your skill for a long time, you would eventually stop doing it, right? You feel like it's not worth it, you're gaining no money, and especially if you're not rich and all. So great respect for the artist managers who actually help preserve the culture around and the art and help the artists. So today we have a founder of a leading artist management and an artist booking firm, Skill Boxes, which is based out of New Delhi, India. So let's welcome Nitish Bhardwaj. He is a musician, a sound engineer, an artist curator, an event manager, and tons of other things. So yeah, let's welcome a very good friend of mine, Nitish Bhardwaj, to the show.
So it started quite some time back actually.
Back in school?
It's been, I don't know, 6 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at school, basically, I was a producer. So I was producing a lot of my own music that time. I mean, when I was in ninth standard, I discovered FL Studio.
Acha.
And I started making a lot of music.
uh,
Uh, by the time I was in 11th standard, I discovered Ableton. Ableton that time was like five, Ableton
mm,
5 or something like that.
mm, yeah.
And then basically, I started applying out. There were a lot of producers in India
Mm.
who actually helped me with exploring my career in music because the only thing that I used to do was make some beats.
Mm.
And
What sort
I
of
was
beats?
a musician in
Hip
my
hop
school.
beats for
I used to
rappers or
listen in
something?
my school. I mean, electronica specifically. I like since a very young age when I started listening to electronic music as well. I mean, I started off actually from Hindustani. Uh, in our school, we used to do normal cultural music, but with that, it's basically like I was deeply into Pink Floyd. Seventh
Mm.
standard, sixth standard, I discovered Pink Floyd. I
Okay.
discovered Metallica.
Mm.
After the whole sea of psychedelic rock and grunge, I went deep into heavy metal. So, uh, since like the last few days of my school life, it was just like I was deeply into heavy metal. I even had a black metal band. Um,
Acha.
it was a pretty crazy lineup, and we were working on tracking our album. Unfortunately, the band split uh, in a few years. So it's basically like I have been in a certain scenario of that musicology where I listen to every single thing, including pop. Like I was in love with pop around that time.
Like what? Kanta laga type
Eminem,
pop.
Akon, they were I
Acha.
think they were Eminem, Akon, they were like in that early 2000s.
uh,
I mean, what music, the releases that Lil Wayne, T-Pain, and all
yeah,
these
man.
guys, it was just
सही कह
that
रहे हो. So
era was
did
something,
you did
when
you
those
ever
new.
have a formal
The
training
biggest,
of music or what?
I did on the later years, but around that time I never had, like, for
Mm.
example, my biggest inspiration, what I was going to tell was,
Mm.
um, Timbaland is one of the
Timbaland.
best producers I've ever heard in my life. I mean, I like him more than Dr. Because Timbaland has that expression which I am able to also now find and explore in artists like James Blake, artists like Seth Aliza at the other side. I mean, they basically took that early 2000s pop and
Mm.
they merged it with the whole aspect of singer-songwriters and they took it through. So I mean, coming back on that scenario, I used to use down tempo electronica because I used to they used to be this Digit magazine. So I used to issue that from library. I had a computer at that time, so I used to copy the music from that CD
Uh,
and some software, and I used to listen to the album. So that's how I used to explore music.
ah. So you used
And
to. Ah, ah. Good, good.
yeah. So I mean I was a producer in school. Then
Mm.
a lot of people guided me. Um, I also won when I was young. I won a music production course at ILM Academy for its first year when it opened up. They were offering a few courses, so I had applied for a thing as
Did you
one of
did
the
you
persons, and I
do
won.
it? Did you end up
Yeah,
doing
I
the
did. I
course?
did almost half of it,
Ah, ah.
but then till that time, I was actually already making a lot of music, and I started exploring a certain other scenario. So as soon as I finished my high school,
Mm.
I did not have any formal training, but I used to make music. And then that time I had decided that I am just going to make a profession in music. That was the decision that came through
Mm.
because I didn't want to do anything else because I didn't know how to do anything else. So
Is anyone in
I,
your family a musician?
my elder cousin, Rahul, he's a tabla player. He's also a pakhavish player. And he is actually the first musician in my family. And
Is he making
which
money out of it? A full proper
Yeah,
career?
I mean, he's not doing it for making money. Nobody's doing it for making money. You have to till a certain extent, but depends upon if you need it till a certain extent or not, and how bad do you need it. Do you need money as badly as you need to make music or not?
Mm. Mm.
So
Makes sense.
that's where it kind of comes. So yeah, I started learning Hindustani classical music. I left my phase of heavy metal and all, and I understood Hindustani classical music. I
Mm.
immersed myself in it. I was learning in a gharana by my guru Ustad Sabri Khan Sahab, and I was learning sarangi.
Okay.
So I felt the importance of having Hindustani classical roots in order to develop musicality and ear training. And I was living with my guru. I was serving him. I was learning from him for 4 years,
Okay.
actually more than that.
Where does he
And,
stay? Is he in Delhi?
he was staying in Asiad Village. He's actually one of the last. He was one of the last living legends of this instrument, one of the oldest instruments of the civilization.
Sindhi
And
Sarangi.
no, it's Indian classical sarangi.
Acha.
So basically, he's a very renowned musician, traveled the whole world a number of times, and he's a Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, Tagore Ratna. It just keeps on going on. His letter. So yeah, he was very old when I started learning from him, and he passed away a few years back, which kind of gave me a pause as well in doing Hindustani classical. So I've always been playing Hindustani classical music for myself. I'm not
Do you
a
still
song
play
guy.
Sarangi? Do you have your Sarangi
I
with
do,
you?
and I'm learning Drupad as well. I moved on from
Oh,
Khayal to
beautiful,
a
bro.
aspect of Hindustani classical. I am learning Rudra Veena from Pandit Rajiv Janardhan ji. So
Sure.
it's every alternate day. I'm there in the morning practicing. So yeah, the music is happening in that certain sense. But
how
post that,
did
so when it,
how did you start Skillbox वैसे and मतलब when did you start? When did the idea come to
so
you?
it was pretty. So after I learned Hindustani classical music, um, with music production and everything, I was able to learn audio myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
And after learning audio myself, I was able to, go to a few people who saw that I had that basic knowledge and they helped me, they trained me out. I started off at Depot 29 actually as an audio engineer and I learned there. And Kirja, who's my mentor in
Hmm.
audio, he
Hmm.
taught me live audio, the big fundamentals of audio altogether. He taught me film and
Yeah.
he taught me in a very interesting way. So I was working with him for a lot of years at the venue, in his studio as well. I was doing a lot of sound projects for sound design. for scores, location, sound. Um, Post that, I decided that I'm going to take advanced learning of audio,
Mm-hmm.
and I moved to Bangalore at Audio Academy, where I
Oh
got
yeah,
like
oh yeah,
Niranjan,
I
who are actually
remember
one of the
we
best
met
audio
over
engineers.
there. Yeah.
So,
What
yeah,
was
we were
it?
in Bangalore at the
Yeah,
time.
bro. What was your school called? True School of Music?
So
No,
I was,
nahin,
yeah,
nahin. It was not True School of
no,
Music.
no, it's
What?
called Audio Academy. It's actually one of the best places in this country.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can't pass that exam. I mean, there are usually 70 kids when it starts, and only one is able to graduate. Um, and you literally cannot perform on their standards of mixing because it is still a certain level. It's beyond international, I would say.
Hmm.
But that's one place if you want to learn. I did not pass the exam, hopefully. I could not. But it was just like I was working in Blue Frog and it was an amazing experience. So the thing that happened was I started curating at Depot as well. And that's
Hmm.
where the foundation for Skillbox coming in as well. So as an engineer, I was mixing a lot of bands. You know, it's the same thing being an artist. A lot of artists, bands just call you up. They're like, oh, we need help in this audio. This is okay. It's like you're a band member with a lot of bands, like a session musician as an
Hmm.
audio engineer. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. You know, everybody, then you kind of get to know everybody from your city scene. You kind of get to know everybody from different cities as well. Um, After that's basically when I was in Blue Frog as well, I used to suggest to act sometime. It was an amazing team. Nitish used to curate. I used to be VTech, One Church, and Vikanka. They were very kind enough to give me kind of a chance to work there, and it was one of the best things I did for a year. So it was just like from there, a number of acts which are coming to India, as well as a number of Indian acts who are touring. Knowing them and knowing different curators and people, it just started from linking them with each other.
Hmm. Hmm.
Curating a few venues who were like, okay, you know a lot of artists. They liked my sense of music. They liked my sense of recommendation in terms of what date, what can come through, and how it resulted in sales. Because the most important thing is the sales. How many
Yeah.
people turn up for that?
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
many people pay up in that big, and what is the sale
Exactly.
going on at that time?
Yeah.
Figure
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
it is. So it started working itself out.
Hmm.
After that, it's basically like when I moved back to Delhi, and this had been happening. A lot of international artists used to come. I used to just recommend them to a few festivals that I knew. Um, I was in Canvas Laugh Club, the most interesting phase of my life. I was handling one of their venue as a senior manager in events and technology.
Acha.
When it comes to hosting the whole production for Comedy UK, all the technicals, taking care of the auditorium as well as an audio engineer. Um,
Where
I
was
was
this?
there for quite.
Gurgaon or Noida?
I was in Gurgaon,
Hmm.
and then after that, we started constructing Noida. And
Hmm.
when we constructed Noida, I was taking care of that venue. Uh, Worked with some really interesting people there. I learned a lot. But eventually, I figured out that's kind of not the place to be.
Comedians,
And I,
dude, they're one of the best.
yeah, I mean, also the thing is that they keep on doing the same material. So you're there every single day, every single show, and it's the same
I know it gets irritating,
comedy
dude,
again,
after a while.
something else. You kind of become a comedian. You start writing like you don't laugh at jokes anymore, but people do laugh on those shows.
Yeah.
Like that. So the most interesting thing that happened was one day I met Anmol, and Anmol, who's my partner, and he's also the CEO of the company.
Acha, you met him
Uh,
at Canvas back then.
yeah, I met him at Canvas Gurgaon, and
Hmm.
Kalol, who was curating there around that time, we became good friends, and who also happened to be one of the first persons we had hired when we started this
Hmm.
brand.
Yeah.
So the thing was that when I had met Anmol, Anmol had this idea where he wanted to connect artists and businesses together
Mm-hmm.
in certain manner in which they can actually benefit from it in a certain way that all the things can be taken care of by a company, so they don't have to get into that, and there's a slight commission kind of structure. So it's like automating the process, cutting the third party. And as you're familiar, a few companies in India tried to do that as well, like
Hmm.
Starklands has been one of them, but they had a very different model, subscription, this that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't know, couldn't quite understand what exactly a few of these companies wanted to do. So I met him. I told him it's an interesting idea, but that's something that cannot work in India, simply because it was just like this is a very unorganized sector of the music industry in this country, especially. It's
Mm-hmm.
very unorganized.
Yeah.
It's not like US, it's not like Britain, that the way it worked, and there was no, certain segment of physical sales till
Yeah.
that level of the international and West music industry is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, has been owned by major players of Bollywood, T series, Sony Music, majorly commercial music, and only physical existed in sense of CDs and cassettes
Yeah.
at a certain era.
Mm-hmm.
But now that monetization is different, and people do not exactly know how shit works till a certain extent. It's
Yeah.
just they're making their own rules and they're going with it and making money.
Mm.
Um, so it was just like we was like, let's do it together, and we was like, okay, let's make something together. We had this idea, okay, we can do the skill boxes or something. I was like, yeah, it's great. We can figure out a name. So we created this brand. We rebranded everything.
Mm-hmm.
Created a platform. So we started 2.5 years back.
How
This
has
is
it changed over the years from where you started and where it is right now?
it's been too overwhelming actually.
Yeah.
At the same time, you believe you could have done a lot more, and you
Mm.
also believe that you have done a lot much
Mm.
at the same time. So it's kind of that stage in between that there's
Mm-hmm.
still a lot to do, but at the end, you also speak to people and they tell you about the accomplishment, and you just don't really, okay, this has happened. It's been 2 years. We are able to execute these things. These features are there in the industry. So in that certain sense, so basically we had decided that we will create a service for the artists and the promoters and the
Mm-hmm.
businesses at the time,
Mm-hmm.
facilitating a certain few automated service. It's nothing. It's that simple. I would say that we are just 25% of what it actually is out in the market. 75% of which is yet to come. We're
Okay.
working on it because it's so complex that the technology that is being embedded in this certain scenario that we are trying to accomplish is somewhat like um, it's just like any other service. We used to order food from restaurants directly. Now
Mm-hmm.
there's a matter, Swiggy. We used to call taxis. वो taxis खड़ी रहती थी. We used to like negotiate the rates and everything. Now there's Uber. It's all automated. We used to actually have people going and taking stuff. Dunzo came into existence. Anything you want, they'll find out.
Yeah.
It's the same scenario. If you want to be an artist, which is
Ah.
actually as not as same frequencies, but it's also not too less of a difference when it comes to a normal season running in. If you want to book artists, their preference, they can listen to them, they can check them out, they can also see their quotations and speak to them directly. There's no third person involved in anything. So we started offering services like a certain press kit based profile, a content discovery platform, as well as a booking platform at the same time that they can actually
So do
interact with
you
each other.
do you do you have like offices in multiple states or something? Because once I
We
saw
do
you.
have people in multiple states.
Uh-huh.
Our thing is really interesting how we actually work.
Hmm.
It's not that we need to set up an office in every city. We have
Hmm.
people in every city,
Hmm.
and there's a certain sense of understanding there
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
we know that the person is doing what they're doing. They literally do not have to sit in a space to do it in
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
So before this work from home came through, we had been doing this scenario from quite some time. It's been very flexible for us because there's a lot of traveling involved from different cities because artists keep on getting booked. We also act as promoters till where we also provide a certain few services in which we are able to curate
Ah.
for a certain fees as well, and because our A&R team,
Hmm.
that's also
Who's
hosting.
your favorite artist Abhi in the indie scene who you have curated?
Yeah.
India.
Mm, Um, I think I would say two. One is I'm looking out for that guy. Like, okay, I think there's some stuff that is going to come. Riyatsu, it's amazing music that he's making.
Riyatsu or Riaz
Riyad-
Sood?
Riyatsu,
Riyatsu, like a
yeah,
Pokemon.
Radha, I guess.
Uh,
Uh, I heard his music with, as part of Benton Record, who's one of our clients.
uh,
It's a listening session that happens online, and they've started doing it live on live streaming with us on our
mm,
platform. It's a ticketed thing, a
yeah.
listening session with the artist.
Mm,
Uh, and Ryatsu had put up quite an ample amount of music on our platform as well,
mm,
which I
mm,
got a chance. and that's one of the most interesting sounds that I was able to hear in India. That coming from that scenario.
And who's the
Except
other
that
one?
I would say, I mean, the current favorite artist in India is it's quite what's the, quite a lot. I would say the music that I love is Peter Cat.
Oh yeah, same bro.
The music that I'm looking forward to, music that I'm looking forward to is Peter Cat. Except that I love Tajdar Junaid. I love
Of course, yeah. This music is also very
the
beautiful.
Mumbai-based artists. Some of the music that Ambika has been making with Nothing Anonymous.
अच्छा, that modular जो Eurorack से music करती है, is it the same girl?
So I think Ambika's vocalist, I think her alias goes like Kaya, and she and Nothing Anonymous. I think they both are Nothing Anonymous. They've been making some really great music. Actually, check it out. It's very. I mean, she's actually pretty great in what she does. And recently, like all-time favorites, I'm naming a lot of acts. Scavengers. We recently did a very special podcast with them. I don't know if you were able to see it.
No, I did not see the podcast.
They're back. I'll send you the link. They're back, and I was able to listen to some of the new music that they haven't released. They played in that set. So they came back after 2 years, and we decided to shoot a podcast, and we did it. It came out pretty nice actually. Some of the songs are really amazing. I mean, some of the new material that they're playing. We're actually planning to release a few of those songs from that podcast as one of the first.
Oh, it's a
things to
musical
come.
podcast. They were playing music in that podcast, is it? Or were they
Yes,
talking to you?
it's like a live performance, but it's not live. We are not streaming it. We shoot it. We work on the mix, and we basically put that live performance out as like a premiere, which people can see. So
Sweet.
that was for
Almost like Coke Studio, right? Yes, a Coke Studio.
somewhat like that. And we are also looking forward to do a lot of live gigs in that same setting, but it's very hectic. You need to avoid a lot of people coming through. There can't be a camera crew of 5, 6 people, 2 engineers, lighting crew, and every single thing because of COVID to maintain social distancing and all. We're still waiting for the time to get better so we can do.
Shall I segue into something like if like say a singer-songwriter or a rapper wants to start out, a really good rapper say कि उसका lyrics sorted है, he has music, mix master हो चुका है, he wants to put out his or her music. So how would you as an artist manager suggest कि how should he starts like कि वो baby steps ले, should he release like an EP or मतलब full all in जाके he should invest on himself, make like a proper video, do social media marketing, should like promote himself every day. तो क्या suggest करेगा तू like a person who's like just starting
So
out?
it's basically like, yeah, totally. It's a very interesting question actually. The thing is that we are not acting as artist managers as of now. Okay. I don't know what the future holds. We basically are facilitators for every kind of artist. Like we do, I also get a lot of calls from different artists. We are consultants, and it's not like we have any strings attached that there's a certain package or something they have to do. You can just call us up and you can just ask us, hey, you know what, like I'm releasing this new music, I've made this scenario, and I am exploring for the new few other steps to go out, and we are more than happy to just speak with everyone and kind of give them an idea. And we actually do a lot of features ourselves on our platform, and with the number of visitors who actually come on our platform and a lot of people who are actually there to buy tickets as well, we make sure that we promote their music out with the normal audience, bringing them a little closer to each other. So what we do is that basically what I recommend personally is that they're able to kind of publish their content on our platform as well, and we are able to promote. But we do also suggest that they can distribute their music. They need to have a proper mix down run. They have to understand how the tracks are mastered in terms of the audience that they're targeting. How are they going to play it? If they're playing it on the phone, if they're listening to it on the earphones, or if it's going for the radio broadcast as well. in that other scenario, the strategy around that release as well, how you need to start building a social media hype,
Yeah.
how the press coverage needs to be done, how
Yeah.
much content that an artist from their side has to work on gathering in order to make it much more interesting. Not to forget the presentation of it, how the press profile looks in terms of the photographic content,
Yeah.
the artwork which is appealing, and how it is actually presented to people, and then after that, different segments of setting up a timeline in which they can actually promote that. So
If
once
there's
it
like an
goes to a
artist
certain
who
amount
comes
of
from,
people,
sorry, you were saying something. Go, go.
no, I was just like, once it goes to a certain amount of people, 20, they like it, it reaches 40, it reaches 40,000 in no time as well. So it's just a start how it happens.
So
That's
I
about it.
had a friend of mine on this podcast like a week back. So he was telling me like he started in front of me only back like 4 or 5 years back. So I taught him to make music, beats kaise banate on FL Studio and stuff. Now he's doing it properly, abhi professionally. So he's got a producer on board who funds all his music, takes care of his videos, uska distribution, gets in gigs and all. No, not gigs, but yeah, he's funding him for everything. So he told me ki, bro, if there's a guy who's actually starting out, they should have their finances sorted at least. If the guy should either be rich as a motherfucker or should have at least like a producer who can sort him out for money and all. तो इसमें तेरा
I
क्या
mean, I kind of
capability?
disagree with that.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. I've seen artists who had nothing and they've
Hmm.
made it out. They've made it out till a certain extent. I'll just give you a very simple, fine, basic example. You look at Dharavi. You look at some of the rappers there who did not have anything, but just an iPad, recording from an iPad. Imagine. They even made a Bollywood film about that guy because that story is inspiring at the end of the day.
That is an
They had
exception, bro.
nothing.
You can't set a rule on an exception, no?
No, but I'll tell you one thing. As a normal artist, like right now, I don't spend a lot of money on music. I have got a laptop, I've got my system, I've got my controllers, I've got all my equipment, and I'm able to make music. Now, my album has views from past 1 year. I'm just figuring out what tracks to release. But at the end of the day, I know how it needs to happen. The fact that the way you need to put music out in the audiences, you literally do not need a lot of money to promote. So the thing is, if you do have money, it's great. It's going to be much more easier for you. But if you
Yeah.
don't have money, there are ways to take it out. It's just like you do have a computer, spend some time. If you can't afford to get a design by anybody or buy it for your artwork, you
Yeah.
can maybe collaborate with some of the people who listens to your music and they would love to give it. Some of the designers that I know are so up for it. They keep on making a lot of different stuff, and they're able to kind of get to know some of the music that they want to
Yeah.
release.
I know what
Artists
you
can't
mean.
afford to literally buy an artwork, and they collaborate and they kind of give it to them. At the other side, if you still are not able to find anyone yourself, spend like 15 days, at least a few hours a day, every day, searching for the concept. What do you want? And you can create a design yourself. You can make collateral yourself. You can make
And
promo
about
videos
mixing,
yourself.
mastering, if
You
say
are
there's if
you
there's
can
like
do it yourself. You just need to give it time and train it.
hmm,
It's just about the year. You have made the music. You can. I mean, for a lot of time, I believe that I cannot master and mix my own music. I was wrong. I explored that certain scenario where I have composed that certain thing, and I know how it needs to sound. And when I was able to get comfortable with it, I started mixing my own music, and it actually started coming out how I wanted it. The only thing it took was a lot of hard work and a lot of time that you had to spend in it. So if you do not have money and you're still making music, at the end of the day, we have so many cheap solutions and alternatives in this whole era of internet.
hmm,
It's like you can do everything yourself from mixing to mastering. In fact, publishing, you just get a subscription on CD Baby or DistroKid
uh,
and distribute your music to every single platform. And
people are doing
everything
it, but
after
they're
that
not
you need to do
making
is
money out
marketing.
of it, bro. A lot of people are doing it already.
I
They're
see.
not.
I'll tell you one thing. Majorly, if we talk about India making money, the major segment of making money is live shows, festivals, gigs, clubs. When people love your music, they want you to play in front of them on a
Yeah.
stage.
Hmm.
And if they want you to play, you get bookings. Because they want to listen to you, and promoters are
Hmm.
able to book you, clubs are able to book you. Because that's
Apart
something they go and
apart from the live
help.
shows, what's the source of income that musicians
There
have?
are a lot of sources of income. Music licensing. If your music is till a certain extent that it's interesting, you can actually license your music to a number of music supervisors who works for a lot of TV series, films that are being produced, and that actually can be taken into account, and you can make some decent money out of it. Second thing is just releasing music and content. Artists like, for example, Anyway Bantai and some of the biggest YouTube releasers who have been there, they have been literally working on their production. They've been working on their set. In that certain scenario, when they put out that product, when they put out that track with the music video, I mean, when it comes to the aspect of releasing the track with the music video, it's actually one of the most important things, depending upon the kind of music that there is, because that defines the whole engagement level of that. And
Exactly.
once it goes viral till a certain extent, like you see uh, like 50 million views, 70 million views in just no time, in a period of 5-6 months, and that actually builds a decent amount of money if you're able to get it. And you're apparently an artist like Anyway, at a minimum, is really had been releasing at least a track a month, even much more uh, earlier in timeline.
Yeah.
So it's just like there are different ways than live gig, but it depends upon the kind of music that you put in. The indie artists, till a certain extent, are not being able. Parekh Singh has been one of the most interesting acts that I had heard since the time they came. And the first video release was so nice. The music is so great. So many people loved it, not from India, around the world.
Yeah.
You know, same goes with a few of the rappers like Divine. I mean, we Bantai, for example. I mean, their conversation with each other through their music kind of took it up a bit more. People loved it, but it's all about selling.
Conversation,
Like
it
you can sell
seems.
the music. Yeah, I mean, so it's just about selling your music. I mean, the best part about this profession is that an artist is able to make music as per their own expression. But once people start relating to it as well,
Yeah,
uh, you are able to sell it. And once you have a product, you need to know how to sell it,
of
and you need to
course.
keep on working on selling it till the time you're able to.
Hmm.
You know,
You once
so
told me,
it's
Nitish,
just
that
like
you were planning to get some like gallery artists, painters as well on board for skill boxes. So is that?
yeah. I mean, we're not just a music-based platform. We're an art community platform. We usually use two terms: art community platform and the art social network. It's somewhat like LinkedIn for artists. You can see. We have different modules. We are being very careful in executing it.
Artist of
But
what
right
sort,
now, all
including
we have,
writers as well, or what?
including
Writers,
writers as well, so we have basically made our mechanism in a certain way. Musicians can upload their content. They can also monetize from it. A major segment of music is also music sales and contribution campaigns. Music sales we have not executed yet. We're waiting for the right time where people can actually buy music, and we also suggest artists setting up a rate for their albums. If they're dropping one track for like
कैसे
$10 and the whole
music
album
sale
is like
कैसे with
$100.
like a proper वो कि LP
It
या
works like something like that. Yeah. You're able to
vinyls
download
वगैरह
it
क्या?
in different formats.
अच्छा
Yeah,
अच्छा
you can
अच्छा.
also order people. The only thing is, like I said, waiting for the right time in that sense, because there's a certain sense of delivery involved as well when it comes to physical purchases. Digital purchases are the most convenient thing in that sense. People are able to buy music, and especially for Indian artists, we really want to promote them being, not all around the world.
Yeah.
We also run contribution campaigns for musicians, in which if you work on an album, you can actually put it up, people
Yeah.
can stream it, and they can contribute money for that scenario. So you can cover up the money from your fans who love your music, and they give you $300, $400. You've got thousands of fans, you're able to collect a lakh. And we've been able to collect some really great amounts: 60 grand, 70 grand, 75 grand, 40 grand. Different bands have got different segments. And
60
the amount
grand
has
for
been
an
pretty good.
artist, for one artist?
For an album, yes,
For an
people have
album,
raised that
okay.
much money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like crowdfunding, but we call it contribution campaign, in which a release is out already.
That
People are
sounds
contributing to
nice.
the artist in order for the money that they've spent for that release. Because at the end of the day, you know what? People can listen to that music one or the other way. They can go to Spotify. They can just listen to it. How is the artist going to make money?
Yeah,
How are they going to cover up their expenses?
exactly.
So this is an alternative which we have been testing from quite some time. But now when it comes to other kinds of artists, we support visual artists, we support filmmakers, we support writers, storytellers, and painters. In that certain segment, every single thing gets covered. So we've got a performing arts section which has a lot of different type of artists who can upload their content, whether it's video content, whether it's photographic content, or it's musical content. So they can actually set their profiling up as per the kind of artist that they are,
Yeah.
and they can put it up accordingly. We are also working on some very interesting concepts for visual arts as well, like virtual exhibition, virtual sales in
Yeah.
those exhibitions as well, and kind of giving a platform for theater artists to come in. Especially right now, we've been doing a lot of theater gigs where
Zoom shows,
they're
Zoom
actually
theater.
no, not Zoom theater. It's a proper theater gig that they're actually shooting from a location and it's going live, and
Ah,
people are actually
okay.
able to see it from a stage. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the same mechanism. When you're sitting in an auditorium, you're sitting at one seat. It's one view that you get. So you don't have to do close-up shots. You don't have to do, some very, very intimate scenario. If you're sitting in an auditorium, you're sitting in an auditorium. So it's the best view. So we are able to execute a few theater shows. We ran this campaign with Ummeed project. It's called Shairana Ummeed. It was raising funds for people who had suffered from the lockdown and people, daily wage workers who are not able to work. They give them food supplies, medical supplies, and help them get back to their states. It was actually the only organization who was able to run buses for migrant workers around in North India. Um, so we had a number of people like Danish Hussain, K.C. Shankar, Jashni Kalam, a lot of acts for Dastan Goi, a lot of poets, storytellers, and theatre artists.
Sweet, sweet. So,
And
वैसे
we were able to
how
execute it in
has
a
COVID
manner
affected
which
your daily schedule of Skillbox? वैसे does the-
uh, it's basically like it has never been less busy even after COVID. Um, we had a lot of plans this year, like like we were doing ticketing, and we were planning to introduce some more effective technology in ticketing that we were doing. A lot of different things that people can also use off, and
so
a
that's what I
certain
want to know. Like, how do the audience react to it? Do they behave nicely? What's like? Is it like comedy shows? Ki when a comedian performs on a Zoom show, everyone is quiet and nicely
no,
sitting.
I mean, we do not prefer Zoom at all. Actually, we started so for a certain amount of time we were running fundraisers. So when COVID had hit, apparently all the shows got cancelled and the revenue
Hmm.
shot to almost zero. Then we were just like, we literally, and we had it coming. We understand the situation of a pandemic and we know it's going to last for a few months, minimum 6 months, till the time there's no vaccine. So we calculated, waited the situation. We started running a few fundraising campaigns because that time it was a lot of chaos. And we
Hmm.
was just like, we wanted to be a help in any way that we can. So we
Yeah.
started gathering the whole artist community together, telling them if they can actually, instead of donating anything, we are approaching them and they can donate their time and any duration they would want to give, and they would want to do a quick live stream for people. So we used social media platforms, mass reach, to collect donation for people who are actually suffering through the lockdown with Umeed's project, which is a collective of NGOs who is actually there in the field providing relief. So for initial 2 months, we were running this campaign. By side, we were putting the live stream phenomenon on our own platform because we knew the gigs needs to happen. So we came up with that certain scenario that where artists can actually host virtual gigs in high definition. We provide full HD quality and 320 kbps audio, which we are not able to hear in Facebook, Instagram, even Zoom's quality is very disappointing. But in order for music, in order for a performance to come out, you need some really good, great quality
Yeah, true
stream.
that.
So we were able to evolve it. We were testing it for at least a month, and then we actually launched this service with Parik and Singh. It was the first gig that we had hosted. Response was great, and the quality worked out pretty great. Then we kept on evolving the whole experience of the
Yeah.
users. In fact, we've got an update coming in a couple of days, which is going to surprise everybody. So
Wait.
so we started doing ticketed live stream where people actually buy tickets and they see the artists for exclusive content. because a lot of people were looking forward for their favorite artists to listen to their new music that they've been making. Albums have been announced in this period. Album launches have been done in this period where
You know
full-fledged
what I
perform.
used to think, Nitish, when the clubs and all got shut now, I thought this live thing and all, it's going to be just, whatever, because music has always been like it's supposed to be, like it should be heard with the community. You should be with like a lot of people around you. That's when you enjoy music, because it has been that sort of experience for me since the beginning.
It's
And
very nice that you mentioned it.
uh,
It's,
but listening
it's
to
actually,
music alone at home, I don't know if I would want to listen to,
I
like,
mean,
say.
it's a whole different experience. At the end of the day, for a certain period of time, it does give a listener an expression that he's actually there in the gig. And like Lifafa, what he did, he hosted his show from Akshara Theatre on a stage. And
Hmm.
there were like some very interesting parallel timelines going, and his wife was there, and they were shooting with one light at the back, and he was performing. It was like kind of whole audio visual scape, and people loved it, and they were just like they were literally there. So it was a whole different experience. But the whole fact about live music had been that you being there, that stage, that huge sound system, that thump that you get, with a band playing, with your favorite artist, be it a producer playing, that certain experience of sound is not there in your rooms, in your houses.
It's almost
You
like
do
a
not have
video, no?
that
It's
quality
just a
equipment.
video playing on your system, right?
Yeah, but you're able to experience it. It's basically like, okay, that's the alternative. But it's not the same experience at the end of it, right?
Are people able to see
It's
each
not
other as
how
well?
a
The
live gig is. They're just
audience?
kind of
Are people able to
sorry.
see each other?
Only
Like,
on Zoom. Depends upon if they need to. We are actually working on a certain mechanism. It's in progress where there is an interaction-based mechanism which we will actually put up on our app and desktop platform. But in that sense, there's a lot of testing involved, and there's a lot of information in terms of how and for what purposes does it have to go out. Because so far, it's basically like a lot of comedians have to interact when it comes to stand-up comedy, and they're usually able to do it on Zoom, but the quality is not great.
yeah.
So this is something that we are working on. But what we decided to do was, I'll just drop a snippet to you.
Zoom
It's
for comedy works
MC.
really nice, bro. I attended couple of shows, right? It's very intimate. You're just eating food in your bedroom, and the comedian is talking to you, dude. It's
It's
very nice.
actually pretty great.
Huh?
Now that the 100 people gathering has opened up, we're trying to work on a certain scenario where a comedian is actually there in room with 50, 70 people sitting by a social distancing. So he does have that audience to interact with, but it is also being streamlined. So it's not like a comedian is just holding a mic in his room alone and there's no audience to set up for him. It makes it a little more convenient to increase the quality of the gig. You don't have to always react. He might, if he's engaging with the audience which is already there, most of the time you're a bystander. And it's more funny if you're a bystander than engaging, sitting in the audience with a comedian. Um, it kind of explores a lot of different segments to it, even for live stream, for music. I mean, what we decided to do was like, we are at the end of the day replicating live shows, right? But it's not the same essence of it. So we need something unique as well. We need to give something new, something unique to audience. I started this idea called Skillbox Backyard, which are well
Skillbox what?
produced
I'm sorry.
podcasts. It's called Skillbox Backyards. We're going in people's backyards and
Backyards.
seeing like
Acha,
scavengers.
backyards. Huh.
Yeah, we shot scavengers in Stefan's backyard.
Huh.
I got a lot of number of locations, very interesting locations. Kind of that contrast of the wardrobe and the background where they are, uh,
Huh.
kind of sums it up. And the music is amazing. They're actually much more tighter and softer. So beyond that, we are also doing some things like, for example, me and Rana had been discussing, and we already started this. It's already in progress. We've been shooting a few of the artists which are coming out in the coming month as well. We are actually shooting films based on artists. So you can call it something like documentary slash a music performance piece slash a parallel timeline going on
What is
kind
it
of a
like?
thing.
Sound tripping or what?
Called it
Matlab,
cinema.
is it
Not
like sound?
exactly. It's going to be much more interesting than that. It's kind of like it's it's kind of like a documentary with different parallel timelines going on, with different parallel stories going on at the same time. Performance, music, everything is included. Um, so you can call it an experimental world film. At the same time, it's also a performance piece. It's also a documentary. So it just goes in a certain segment, Rana would be able to explore it, but it much better in that sense. Like, he's got the whole
Rana, the
community.
other partner, Anmol जो बता रहे
Rana
हो.
Ghosh reviews artists.
अच्छा.
So,
अच्छा.
reviews, yeah. So, we're planning some interesting stuff. A lot of interesting artists with that as well. So, in that sense, like we're trying to keep on working on giving something new to the audience. You know,
Beautiful,
we
bro.
don't want to bore them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And there needs to be evolution instead of just sitting back
True.
in
True.
this
True,
time,
true, true.
especially, to
Can
kind
we
of.
go?
I feel like we owe people. We have a responsibility to the audience to give it to them. We are
Exactly.
responsible for it, especially in this time that everybody's going through.
True, bro. That's like the nicest thing that I've heard since morning.
I mean, it's uh, artist. Every kind of art has that responsibility to the listener. Their audiences. They owe them
True.
to do this.
True.
That's what we are born for. That's why uh, us as professionals we exist, because this is exactly the time the world needs us the most. They're locked to their
Exactly.
houses. A lot of people are losing their family members. A lot of people are depressed. A lot of people have lost their jobs. If there's nothing to feed their soul, they might just collapse.
And might end up in jail with a weed packet.
It's funny what's happening.
uh,
Yeah, they've totally diverted it all, man. Like, it's great actually. People should get better content to the street because they know where they can switch on their TV and see any sense happening there.
drugs do,
Uh,
drugs do, drugs do, मुझे drugs do.
and any platform, anytime I get a chance, like almost 3 million people have lost their job till this time in India. GDP dropped to minus 23. There is no business. I don't know where that 20 lakh crore is. I try to work on my moratoriums, but
It's not
it's
there.
difficult. It's very difficult. And for us musicians, like a lot of musicians, like it's great actually. Let's talk about this for a moment because this is something which every single person in the entertainment and music industry has been going through. It's just like it's difficult, man. It's very difficult. You work your ass off for so many years, for 8, 10 years, to get yourself till a certain standard of living where you are able to pay uh, bills for that certain minimum expense that you're also able to do, and you're able to afford. In the season, you're doing a lot of gigs. The
Yeah.
payment scale is decent enough. You're able to make a living for yourself. You can settle. People, musicians, professionals who are married, they can think of having a kid. Maybe there's responsibility that they can also take. Buy a new car, buy a new house, kind of scenario.
How's it different from the artists who are abroad right now? Say like in Europe, in UK, are they
It's not
getting
good
any
for them
support?
as well. It's not great for them as well. I mean,
Is there any
if we
support
talk
from their
about some
government?
musicians, yeah, I mean the best part about European countries is government supporting them a lot. I mean, some of the other people who are actually studying music, but they are actually not the citizen. And normal students just doing a normal degree in a university from India, like people that I know, they're not helping them with the same amount, but they are definitely transferring a certain amount every month so that they know they're at least not going to end up on street and hungry. That's the most important thing that you have to make sure. And it's not the same thing in India. I mean, in India, nobody gives a shit at the end of the day, and
Yeah,
it's just like,
it's very important to like
and they are
sort an
suffering as well.
artist out
But
there.
at the end of the day, they are able to go through it. They're able to survive. A lot of them are not able to as well. But in India, it's just straight up death. Like some of the senior classical folk musicians who used to be playing at different hotels, restaurants, 5, 7 star properties, a lot of concerts, and I mean the price in terms of the more cultural art forms which are more rare is higher than what we see in India and other scenarios around, and it has just stopped totally. I mean, the kids were in a good private school and they have to put them in a government school, which is not you know something so light. It's a serious thing.
True.
It's messing with the future of
Exactly.
certain
It's
families, of certain people. So it's just like it's been very difficult for artists. I speak every day to so many artists. I tell them that we will try and figure out, let's run a contribution campaign, helping them out with setting up certain number of workshops. How
How
can they
much is
do
the
it?
average amount of money that you have been able to raise for artists, per se, on an average, for like
On an average, any contribution. So it's up and down depending upon every artist. Some of the artists are not able to raise any.
8-10,000 रुपए
Yes,
for
I'll give you an example. The nicest Fidel. Everybody loves Fidel.
एक second रुकिए, एक second. Yeah, sorry. हाँ.
Laptop battery.
Hmm?
No, so basically the thing was, I'll give you an example. This happened 1.5 weeks back. There's a percussion player in Delhi, Fidel. He also plays jazz. He plays a lot of different.
I know that guy. Yeah.
He's a lovely guy. He's an amazing guy. He was going through some.
He's from Spain, is it?
Yeah, I think he's from South America. I'm not very sure. Spanish shape. So the thing is that basically he had some trouble, obviously, like all the artists have, and he is not from this country. He has to survive on the gigs that he used to play, and he has to renew his visa. Even going back, taking a flight is risky, and at the end of the day, you don't want to leave Delhi if you're actually here. He is settled here.
Yeah.
So
settled as in has a house and a family.
No, I think I'm not sure his family is here. He is in the country. I think he study. I have limited information, but all I knew is musician who's not from this country, who everybody loves, is in need. And, because there are no gigs, so we were just like, okay, you know what? Let's run a contribution-based live stream where he will present a looping set.
Yeah.
And we did not even promote it way crazier, but we promoted it on an average how we promote everything. Okay. And when it happened, he was able to raise 19 grand
in a day. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, I mean, when his stream was going on, he was able to raise 10 grand in an hour itself, where people kept on coming. They love him. They love his music. They donated. Some are dropping in 200, 500, 2,000, 1,000.
Sweet.
And
so who was doing this call to action? Was there an anchor who was saying donate for this, or
no? They've got a contribution button when the artist is playing. Like, please contribute to support. They just click on it and they can drop the money, right?
Sweet. Beautiful.
And it's a free gig. Everybody can access. It's free. Like, it's not like you have to buy a ticket and get in. You can just come and watch me. But he also says that what's been happening right now. I'm doing this scenario in order to raise money. I mean, so far I believe that contributions works much more nicer than a ticketed show. You can have a lot of audience, but yes, when they're also watching it, they do contribute to a certain extent. We left the event page live for a day or two as well, so that we can try and raise more money. And last I think it closed at 19 grand, which I was like, it's pretty great. We've been able to raise some really great money for the artists, and it's at the end their fan base and all the community that we spread the word in that this is what's happening. We are in touch with a lot of our community, in sense of all the people who have ever been on the platform, has bought a ticket from us, or are the artists. We keep on sending them updates. This is what's happening. If you want to support them, and promoting gigs to the audiences, in sense that we think they would want to listen to this artist. Communication is very important if the artist is playing. Nobody knows about that gig.
I'm really proud of you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, tell my dad that scenario. You should speak to my father. I mean, it's a.
Why do you do what you do, Nitish? Why music? Why skill boxes? Or like in general, why not be an engineer or a doctor? Or why a musician?
I don't know how to do anything else except this. But,
apart from music?
I mean, I decided one thing. When I was a musician, I was able to make a certain amount of money. There had been days and weeks where I was not able to eat food. I have slept empty stomach because I didn't have enough money. I paid all the rent. I don't have any money. I used to drink water and go to sleep so that you don't feel hungry and you're able to sleep. My friends used to come get food from the house for me. I used to go to their houses to have dinner kind of scenario. So it's been struggle times, but I decided one thing. that I might be playing music at the side, but music is something that I'll still keep on working in. Skillbox came into existence. I was doing audio for a lot of years, started giving the technical services that I'm trained in. But anything that there is, even like I'm also, I can say like I'm also an aspiring filmmaker, learning a lot. I mean, you need to know everything in order to be a filmmaker as well.
Yes.
But that's where it sums up at the end of it. That just has to stay around art, and there's nothing else that I think I can understand altogether,
Hmm. Hmm.
or love what you're doing. It's very irritating for me. If I don't like what I'm doing, I will just not do it at all. I don't give a shit how important it is. I was just like, if I don't want to do it, I just don't want to do it at all.
Acha, when I want to ask you one thing, so when a musician or an artist starts out, what's the most common reason that they fail or they don't grow as much? Is it their presence, or is their quality lacks, like the content of it, like the quality of their content is not cool? So what's the most common reason an artist fails?
I feel like personally, it's like it comes to you. It takes time. Your content, the quality of your music, the way you present it, the way you promote it. It comes with time. The only thing I feel that fails an artist is persistence.
Hmm.
It doesn't work the first time. It doesn't mean that you don't have to try it 100 times again. Nobody gets rich making music.
Hmm. Of course.
Money just comes to you. It's not like you definitely can make music in order to sell it. A lot of people in the world are doing it, but it's not for your success, for money or fame. It's just for the sake of art. At the end of the day, if you're making some very basic product, I mean, your music is great, but it's not sounding really great, or if your sound's really great, but the music doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't mean that it's good music or bad music. If it's good art, it's a good painting or bad painting. It's just an expression. It's art.
But
But the
like
fact about it is,
if like an artist wants to start out as an entrepreneur, say he has a service to offer, right? He
mm,
it's an entertainment service, so he can give that for an advertisement, a film, or just like Jay-Z, bro. Ki, matlab, he's an
you're
entrepreneur,
still an
right?
artist. You're still an artist and an
हाँ कि
that's where
मतलब
being an artist, you have to keep on doing at it. You make a profile, you make a portfolio, you keep on banging out to the client. Somebody will pick it up if they like that certain kind of music. Like for example, I do a lot of shows as well, but it's never I started approaching the clients. They were just like, okay, we heard some of the other thing in some of the other plays that you had done, and they just call up. And it started with doing things for free for filmmakers, aspiring filmmakers who were starting off. They did not have budgets and all of that scenario. So, like I said, persistence. It does not matter if you're getting money out of it or not.
exactly.
If you're collaborating with the project, it doesn't
But
matter if they're
people,
able to pay you.
like if they want to, if you want to sustain it for a long time, then you need to have some money, dude, because you're gonna eventually have a girlfriend, have babies, and you need money for that sort of stuff to survive. You can't just be like a starving artist forever, right?
You can actually, I'll tell you one thing, you can make money from music and a good decent amount. You just need to understand the market where you're at.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you'll be able to make money if you offer something to some other person. And if they're getting that service, they pay you for it. Now you cannot complain that okay, I'm not able to make money through what I'm doing in music or in art if it's not useful to anybody else. They're
Yeah.
not even going to look for you. If you're making music in a certain manner, if you have that certain skill set that as per a client you're able to compose for that advertisement or you're able to score for that film, they will
How
come to
about
you.
how about looking for an investor? Since you have a product or a service already, you just look for an investor online, run ads, and ask money
Yeah.
from an investor as an artist. How do you
As an
like?
artist, I don't think so any investor will be keen. This is kind of a long shot. An investor can be anybody. It can be your father, it can be a cousin,
No,
friend,
no,
it can be
like
somebody
investor who has a
that
lot of
like to
money.
grow. But investors do not invest in a certain segment where an artist is there. I'm sorry to say, but a single artist who has started off with the limited years of experience is unreliable as well. And at the end of the day, it's your hard-earned money. So you'd rather invest in stock prices. You'd rather invest in a few shares. You'd rather invest in a company which has that product in order to get that money out somewhere. You know, the only reason you invest is you've got a lot of money and you would like to put that money and get some extra from there instead of just it rotting in your bank account. But you literally need to see if somebody loves you and invests in you. Yes, definitely, you need to find that scenario. And if an audience loves you, an audience invests in you. It's the same thing as an audience investing in you
No,
buying a
I'm
ticket.
saying it from a point of कि जैसे influencers होते हैं ना Instagram पे, like a guy with like say 10,000 followers is also an influencer now. So like an artist, if an investor invests in an album and that musician gains like 10, 20,000 followers through that, and he starts selling the product or a service of that investor.
Exactly.
So I'm asking it
I
from
mean,
that
with
point.
those investors, you mean by there are specific services, labels, and management agencies. They are the ones who are investors. You can say they put money into an artist, from which four of them makes them that money back. But they do take a. It's a very fundamental scenario that has been working in international music industry, all countries. Like a label invests in, for example, 10 artists,
Hmm.
but they're able to cover all of that money up from four, and
Label,
other ones
but
they're
label is all about music, no?
but
Investor though
has been
has a proper
so
business.
see it requires working on a lot of a lot of work in terms of getting a brand on board, getting endorsements, putting up money for music videos, getting a film crew together, producing your album in a very good studio, getting it mastered by everybody, getting the best PR in the country and the world on board when that release is happening. That it takes a certain amount of hype, TV shows, news interviews, it just keeps on going on and on. You have a team behind that. That's when it usually works. When it comes to making money, every single person who's actually investing time in an album that you produce. For example, Nuclear produces an album, and the management team has like a crew of 5 people who actually works on that project. And we know that okay, in month of October, this album is going to come out. It includes a lot of work, including PR, including mixing, mastering, including distributing, getting testimonials, getting remixes done from a few people as well. There are a lot of different ways, there are a lot of different techniques to go about it. So at the end of the day, it's the agency who's investing in the artist, because artist is going to make money and an agency is going to get that cut for the
Yeah.
money that they've invested. And agencies are also publishing music, distributing, and even getting labels signed. Um, so again, like I said, that an investor will only come when there's a certain product in sense of making money. Like Pratik Kuhad, they'll produce the next album, they'll put in a lot of money. Pratik might put in a lot of money himself.
Bro, Pratik तो I went for this ये शाहीन बाग में protest नहीं थे उस time पे Pratik Kuhad came for a gig no there ये अनुष्का मंचंदा and सीधे मौत और प्रभदीप ये सब they came for a gig मतलब they were performing on the stage there शाहीन बाग में तो प्रतीक कुहाड़ को मैं सुन रहा हूँ तो ये जामिया के बच्चे के उधर so it was that day it was the day after when that shooting happened ना उनके गेट के बाहर ही शूट कर रहे थे वो जामिया के बाहर एक बंदा आ गया था गन लेके you remember एक कोई एक ABVP का लड़का था and he came with a gun or like a देसी कट्टा or something और उसने शूट कर दिया था किसी बच्चे को वहाँ पे तो it was a day after that और वहाँ पे छोटे छोटे बच्चे आए हुए हैं जामिया के तो एक छोटी सी बच्ची है मेरे पीछे 17 साल की हो पीछे प्रतीक कुहाड़ bro that's so sweet man
And you see, it's so interesting that I remember Pratik when he first time we heard Pratik was like, I don't know, 5 years back. I even did host him for a gig. The venue got packed, 180 people in that small venue. But he's a pretty cool guy actually. So when he started making music, we started listening to it. Dhruv at that time was with him, and we were like, we kept on seeing Pratik Bhatt as one of the songwriters. How Parekh can sing are these days, how Dhruv Vishwanath is. There was a certain sudden burst where he released a few of the records, and every single person almost in India, like when it comes to our generation, our style, that same scale, is listening to Pratik Wad and they're relating to his music because his music is very simple at the end. You're able to understand. Yet it's very complex in terms of emotion. It's not like, I mean, that music is simple. It's great music that he's doing. It's very interesting. But it works out at the end of the day when a person is able to relate. I really like this few initial tracks. So when he was shooting in Jano Man also, shot one of the music video, it's down now. So you see how that artist basically traveled from being a songwriter in India, just being signed up by a normal artist manager who's been managing a lot of indie acts, to becoming one of the biggest songwriters in this country right now. There are millions of people running, and we did a show in Delhi last year. 9,000 people showed up, I guess, somewhere around the Gandhi Stadium, I guess. It happened in some stadium lot, and it was crazy. I saw the video. I think it was shot by
Who's his
Anirudh.
manager? MGMH, na? Ritmika is
No,
manager.
he's currently with Anirudh,
Acha.
Big Bad Bull.
Acha.
If
Acha.
I'm not wrong.
Hmm.
And they're doing amazing stuff. So it basically, like, when it comes to your answer, is that when it comes to investing in an artist, the only reason you'll put your effort and money is when you know that you will get something out of it.
Yeah.
And it only happens on numbers. At the end of the day, it's business. It
Yeah.
comes down to business. You
Hmm.
have a certain reach. It might be 500,000 people who are able to engage with your music. It shows a certain potential that it can go to 5 million
Exactly.
if right amount of money is put and if it's done in the right way.
Hmm.
Money is nothing but a resource to, amplify that product.
Exactly. What are the
Like I said, coming
Huh.
back to the same thing that I said, it takes persistence. An artist decides to do something, they have to keep on doing it for at least 8 to 10 years. Sometimes it takes 10 years, 15 years, sometimes it takes 2 years, 3 years for an artist
Hmm.
to kind of get to that stage. But it takes time. It's not easy. So if you're not persistent, it's not the game for you.
Hmm.
You might just make music and do something at the side.
Hmm.
But professionally, you have to literally, it's like water cutting a stone.
I feel like back when we had Rajas and all, no, Kingdom, उस time पे musicians had their golden period too. है ना? They did not have to care about money and all. Yeah, after this democracy shit, artist का scene ही खराब हो गया.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically like, man, at that time, artists were treated amazingly. Like my gharana that I actually learned from, my guru told me a lot of stories. We are from Senia Muradabad Gharana. It's an extension of Gharana that started off from Mia Tansen, who was the most famous musicians in India that people know. Tansen, one of the biggest in Mughal courts, around 16th century. Musicians were actually court musicians. They were employed by the kings. It doesn't even matter they're playing a day a week or like 2 days a month, but they are present in the court and they get asked to play, they play. It's like that royalty which was there around that time. It's the same scenario, like for example, government hires musicians. They were like kind of government employees. And the generations were passed and they had to prove themselves to the king.
Yeah.
And king used to love that. Like, I think it was Akbar. They loved Tansen. They were like, okay,
Akbar,
what he
Tansen and
offers
people.
is something that we've not seen till a certain extent. And in love for that whole scenario, for that era, he in fact even made one of the most deepest, one of the most respected and not so easy ragas called Darbari for that Darbar. It translates to court or courtism in that sense. He made it for the king. So it was just not, the artists were not just thriving, but the music was evolving and it
Yeah.
went to great heights. And the saints were able to, Hazrat Amir Khusro in 13th century, literally, in a way, invented khayal, which is imagination in music before that. The 13th century is way back. I'm not sure in Western classical music, most of the folk music forms used to be there. No Western classical, no jazz, nothing. And improvisation coming out at that time led to the current rendition of khayal as we know it.
Exactly. I feel it's the government's duty to, preserve the authenticity of art and the artist.
It had been. I mean,
It still should be though. Like the government should.
I'm not very sure. I feel like the current administration might be here to literally kill those art forms. Hindustani classical, I don't know what the uh, mentality right now is. It's just like if it is there, artists will literally die in India, but they won't let themselves. So I'll give you an example. There was a time when a very cruel Mughal ruler Aurangzeb ruled the country, where he started killing people, converting them to Muslims as well. The Hindutva right wing does not like that at all. They did not. there's still a lot of dispute on that scenario. Certain areas of India as well where Muslims.
But Hindutva doesn't like that Aurangzeb used to kill us. Of course, they
Exactly.
don't like it.
And exactly, they won't. But that doesn't mean that
No one
the
likes it,
art
bro.
form that has been, and he killed a lot of artists. There's a very
Ah.
interesting scenario in which musicians started escaping to Nawabs and Rajputs, the other kingdoms, where he did
Yeah.
not have the control, to save themselves. They went into hiding, and which resulted in some of the most amazing music forms. Like, for example, Shore Mia. It's a very interesting story. Shore Mia, they used to be there. Uh, and there used to be a duo of Bache Khan, who apparently, as far as I know, went to Lucknow, and Delhi Gharana expanded. Banaras and Lucknow also got involved around that scenario. So Shore Mia apparently ran off to Punjab,
Okay.
the border, Sindh. At that time there was no India-Pakistan. He ran off to Sindh, and he started living with the camel herders. They used to sing in Punjabi. They had their own music form, the folk form, and he was a trained classical pioneer. Actually, sorry to say, because Aurangzeb started killing all the artists. He basically, I think, was on that certain spree that he wanted to destroy the whole culture and get it off. He's a lunatic. Um, so he went to the camel herders, fused their music, and he created this art form called tappa. It's a light classical form of music.
Tabba.
Hindustan. Tappa.
Tappa.
Tappa is one of the renditions, like how Thumri. Like Thumri, there is Dadra also, there is Kajri, and there is Tappa. Tappa is a form that Shivamia created in Sindh. So it's basically Tappa means the notes keeps on jumping. So there's no sustaining time on the note. So the note keeps on jumping. It's like, how a Petrucci thing is going. But in Indian classical style, there are a lot of renditions of me, Merukand is also coming through.
Like
more faster actually in a scale, how much improvisation that you can do. It's like a jackpot for any musician who would want to improvise under a tappa with a composition and a rag, standing in that whole classification. So this all started happening. So I feel like this administration might turn out to be, I don't know, something bad for musicians, because there's nothing that has been done for music or musicians. I remember previous administrations that used to exist. We used to see a lot of concerts in Central Park. You remember? Indian classical, theater acts, Kathak acts, a lot. Like in Central Park, in Kamani. This time that we are actually talking around these months, there was a spree of Indian classical gigs, theater acts, festivals, international festivals. Artists are going abroad. International artists are coming to India. Jazz Fest, Nehru Park. In that scenario, it's all gone. Last year was
international Jazz Fest used to happen around this time only, no? October, May, September.
Yeah, around this time. I think October-ish. But I mean, including in Malhar Festival, Hindustani Classic Festival, ICCR used to organize so many concerts. They were responsible for so many international organizations used to collaborate with Indian organizations in order to host these concerts. It resulted in a certain revenue surplus for this industry. Last year was so enlightening because there was a fallout for that scenario. It dropped down so low, and then we were like, in the coming years, it might just go down way more. It might get better as well if we work towards it. But at the end of the day, previous administration used to spend a lot. Ministry of Culture used to actually allocate a lot of budget for artists, musicians, and organizing these kind of cultural events. Now I'm not sure if it's the same thing. But after COVID, it looks very difficult. I feel like the Indian classical music, Indian folk music will just get out of India. Where people want to listen to Lamborghini and all of that.
Lamborghini chalai jab.
At the other side, we've been actually doing a lot of classical concerts online. Quite a lot of sales are from European states.
I actually like that song, bro. Lamborghini chalai jab. Sorry.
Like you said, finding an investor for music, you make something like this, you'll have 10. You have to find them somewhere in Punjabi Bagh at one of the bars. Hook up.
Of course. अच्छा ये बताओ, what are some like common roadblocks जो people should look out for if they're starting out as a musician?
As a musician?
as an artist, as a music, हाँ तो मतलब अपन music की बात करें तो tell me about
I mean, first thing I would say is work till a certain extent. If you do have, it's not like if you're from a music family, it's disastrous to only know music. Let me make it very clear. It's amazing. At the same time, it's very disastrous. Till the time you're able to do it till a certain extent, that there's nobody better than you. There is no one. It's not about competition. I'm saying. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm talking about in that certain skill set that you hold. That
Yeah.
you are special. You are there. That people just want you. They cannot listen to anybody. It's unique. As a, for example, Siddharth, like you're one of the best. What Ravi Shankar was, for example, what L. Shankar is, for example, what John McLaughlin is, there's nobody else beyond that. There's a certain love for an audience. Either you're that, or if you're starting off, you definitely need to have a skill set on you. I would say that, if you still want to work in music, you should learn music
Marketing
business.
skill set or like putting yourself out there
Yeah,
sort
I
of
mean,
skill
there's
set.
something that you have food on the table. You're not looking for music to put food on the table. You can, it's not a problem, but you need to be great in it if you have that certain skill set, because they'll only pay you if you have something to offer, a good skill set to offer. Else, if you're starting off a musician, you cannot literally quit your job and keep on doing that scenario. You can still do it, you can still learn it, but it goes parallelly. You need to be well off in order to get the stress out of your mind of the basic survival, and you just focus your inner being on just practicing, on improving your skill set and working towards it. A lot of like our generation has been like, our parents have been so supportive, they've been so open-minded. They're like, it's not a problem. Even if you're 25, you're 28, you can just sit back home, no problem. Like, you've got some money. You won't be obviously like, buying new cars. You won't be running around like, chilling out. You have to do something. You can
Exactly.
make music. People are making music in that sense. They are professional musicians. They learn audio. They spend a lot of years. They open up their studios. They start producing other artists. So I
So
think
any
that's one of the biggest roadblocks to,
money,
be
money, no?
settled.
Finances.
Yeah, be settled and do music. You will be able to do good music, but it's not mandatory. Like if you're
Exactly.
really great in doing what you're doing and you're not settled, you keep on doing what you're doing because you know you're good, and this is going to take you somewhere.
I heard this once in a Gary Vee interview. He said if you're trying it for like for 4 or 5 years and it's not clicking right, then you should start working somewhere. Like he was saying it in the context of an entrepreneur. If you are actually planning to start a business and it's not happening and you've been trying it for 4 or 5 years now, then you should try something else. Maybe work for
I'll tell you one
someone.
thing: if it's not happening, depends. It's not like nothing happens. It gets
Not
better.
like that, maybe you lack some sort of skills or an experience which you need to have,
Obviously.
there's some like a loophole which needs to be covered, or you know you have to let that
For
pass.
example, in business, it's a very interesting scenario. It's like you might start a company. You
Hmm.
might be one of the founders of a company.
Yeah.
A few people might be running that company. You're the pillar of that company. At a certain point, that company also reaches a stage where your skill set lacks, and you have resources. You have enough money and investment to hire the best people, like Harvard business graduates, lawyers, and all of that scenario, who will actually take this up where it actually has to. You cannot do it. Your job was enough to take it to a certain stage and then back off if one of the positions fit as
Yes,
a
bro, I'll
change.
tell you, I'll give you my example. When I started back in 2017, I started this academy, right? तू भी तो आया था वहाँ पे, तो वहीं पे तो I did that for a year, और मैंने अच्छे मतलब 10 से 15 लाख रुपए I spent it over there. कुछ भी इधर से सामान खरीद रहा हूँ, I'm just spending money, I was not making any money out of it. No clients, no like students were coming in. So all my branding agency, marketing agency को I was paying money for everything, but nothing was coming along. So क्या हुआ? I met this friend. He told me कि bro, you're not, reaching out to people. People don't know about you. If I look for you online on social media, there's no presence. So what you do is just give me $500 right now. I'll run an ad for you. Okay, I'll give you some leads. Just talk to them. He gave me like around 100 leads out of those 500 rupees. So back then Facebook was really cheap, no? 5 रुपए की एक लीड मिल जाती थी टाइप्स. तो आई कॉल्ड अप दो स्टूडेंट्स, 4 गॉट कन्वर्टेड. तो उस टाइम पे मतलब हाँ कि आउट ऑफ दोस 4 स्टूडेंट्स आई वाज एबल टू गेट माय एक्सपेंसेस सॉर्टेड. academy did not work, it failed miserably. But I actually realized कि भाई you know कि जैसे अब मार्केटिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डूड. जैसे प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस कोई भी बना सकता है. अभी जैसे लॉकडाउन पीरियड में एवरीवन वाज सेलिंग सैनिटाइजर्स, नहीं सैनिटाइजर्स बेच रहे हैं, पीपी किट्स बेच रहे हैं, बट हाउ मेनी आउट ऑफ देम वर एबल टू मेक अ प्रॉपर बिजनेस आउट ऑफ इट? जस्ट 1%, राइट? तो वही है कि say, like coming back to you, what you said, ki, you need to gain a certain sort of skill set to stand out as a musician, as an entrepreneur, as whatever. So if it's not working out for you for like 4 5 years, then yeah, you need to gain some skills, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's basically like it gets better. You can just
Hmm.
hand it over, and still it can work. It's a very calculated approach you have to take towards
Yeah.
everything when it
It took
comes
me
to
a really
professional.
long time to realize कि I don't want to do music. समझ रहे? पहले मेरे को लगता था कि भाई music is going to like get me to salvation. यही है मेरा तरीका, समझ रहे? Enlightenment का. I used to think that way. But मैं एक बारी ना इंटरव्यू देख रहा था इसका A.R. रहमान का. तो he said कि तो interviewer asked him कि बाबा how do you make music? कि it's so beautiful and all. So how do you make music? He said I don't try to do anything. It just comes to me, you know. It comes like a breeze passing through like leaves and all. तो उसने जो
That's how it
example,
happens. Like,
huh?
you can't try and make music.
Yeah, that's all. तो मैं वही सोच रहा हूँ bro, मेरे को तो नहीं आ रही है breeze. It's not like a breeze for
It
me.
takes time, dude. I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah, of course, bro. Now
It
if I do,
started with me because uh,
uh,
I had a lot of I was dyslexic in my school.
uh,
It was difficult writing exams. It was difficult. I was able to top
yeah,
in a few
what sort of
subjects.
dyslexia was it?
It's just a basic scenario in terms of just memorizing things.
अच्छा,
Which is
memorizing वाला, हाँ, हाँ, हाँ.
concentrating for that certain scenario which I feel like is relevant.
Hmm.
Which resulted in me writing way more slowly also at a certain
Hmm.
point of time. And getting so much immersed in that writing, it gets difficult sometimes that you're writing something, expressing something that you're not able to, like analyze that thing and just, communicate it through that mode. Um, there are other modes of education now, verbal, extempo based, online, speech based scenario. But I was just like in that sense, it was one thing that came to me itself was music. I just used to listen to something and there's like something that I'll start humming. It's original. It's
Hmm.
exactly something that nobody has made.
For
It took me
me,
a lot
when
of
I
time to
started
realize
out
what
back in like 7th or 8th standard, why I started music was because of rap music, dude. मेरे को Africans और African का कोई भी sort of music I used to love it, dude. चाहे वो rap हो, blues हो, jazz हो, मतलब क्योंकि एक sense of rhythm था ना, तो I have always been rhythm oriented as a musician भी. तो with time फिर जब ये electronic music and psychedelic trance and all of this LSD and all of this came in the scene, dude. उसके बाद मतलब it all went, I don't know, it went downhill or uphill, I don't know, but हाँ कि मतलब DJing started, DJing happened, electronic music happened, then I went to film school वही Bangalore में, फिर वापस आके I did couple of advertisements, films करी थोड़ी बहुत, documentaries करी, sound करी उसके लिए. फिर मेरे को बाद में पता लगा ब्रो इट वाज जस्ट रैप म्यूजिक दैट आई ऑलवेज वांटेड टू डू. बट हाँ, बट वही है ना, सारी चीजें एक्सप्लोर करते करते उसका भी चार्म चला गया नहीं. तो नाउ व्हेन आई सिट बैक एंड व्हेन आई थिंक अबाउट इट, आई डोंट इवन वांट टू राइट रैप नाउ. ऐसा सब.
Yeah, I mean, it's exploration. You have to keep on doing it for at least a number of years. It took like 8 to 10 years in my case for what I'm doing now. It's been around 10 years I've been in the music scene. And,
10 years of what?
10 years of struggle in music and what I'm able to do now. So today I decided that I'm just going to be in this profession.
नहीं, म्यूजिक आई एम एबल टू डू. वही तो कि मतलब समझ रहे कि वो मतलब आई एम एबल टू क्रिएट अ पीस ऑफ म्यूजिक. इफ यू टेल मी कि हाँ ब्रो तूने ये म्यूजिक मतलब जैसे अब टेक्नो ट्रैक किसी का मेरे पास आया कि आई वांट टू प्रोड्यूस टेक्नो ट्रैक विद यू, तो टेक्नो ट्रैक बन जाएगा. किसी कोई रैपर आता है, कोई सिंगर आता है, मेक अ बीट फॉर मी, मेक म्यूजिक फॉर मी, आई एम एबल टू डू इट. बट यू नो कि जैसे मैं बता नहीं रहा था कि it was much more than just creating a product or a service before. Maybe वही charm शायद वो initial stages का ही होता है. Maybe some वही है, लाइफ का शायद इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ें थोड़ी सामने आने लग जाती है, सो यू रियलाइज कि इट्स नॉट जस्ट अबाउट दैट हाई दैट यू यूज्ड टू थिंक अबाउट बैक इन चाइल्डहुड। एनीवे, तो मेरे को ये पूछना था, सो व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड आउट, से जब व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड स्किल बॉक्सेस, व्हाट वर सॉर्ट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स दैट यू फेस बैक देन, और तूने कैसे उसको ओवरकम किया?
I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people will be offended with what I have to say. Uh,
That
it's like it's never easy to start out in this industry. Um, so how it happened was we had three partners, me,
Yeah.
Anmol, and Ravi. Anmol basically is able to understand till a certain aspect the aspect of music industry. I am specifically from music industry and music business. In terms of how artists react, what needs to happen, what we need to actually give in a finer manner, which is useful for the music industry. And Ravi is our CTO, is a technical partner. He basically handles all the technology, coming into that scenario. And more handles resources, funding, and the part of the music industry. Now we're all doing everything else. It's been a learning curve for all of us. We're doing everything.
Yeah.
For me, it was a certain scenario that I am kind of a rebellious type. I just try and go and then break that whole scenario. Monopoly has been very difficult to start off with. It's like that certain monopoly, that certain community. It's great to not let uh, you know people in who um, might just not hold that certain level of skill set, that certain quality, or just might work with you, scam you, and go. Because it's kind of an industry of thieves in India as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
You might not get paid, you might get scammed, gig might not happen, your artist is stranded at the festival site and there's nothing happening sometimes. So that is something that I felt like it's difficult, but it was kind of like a very nice challenge. So it's like, okay, cool, you know what, let's do one thing. What do we have to offer? We have to offer this. A lot of people are just like, everybody, a lot of people actually, not everyone, seems like anything that is new and starts off will fail because it's not going to work out. But it does work out if you know how to work it out at the end of the day. If you have a certain quality threshold, a standard to follow, people will get attracted towards you. The so-called organizations, artists, management agencies, who might be like, okay, you know what, we just work in that certain scenario, and publishing agencies actually PR firms. They're talking about your work that you're doing, but they're not talking about you. They're just talking about the artist who's being done by somebody else. So these kind of things has been very tricky. Actually, politics exists in the music industry. It's not like it does not. That's one thing that you have to break. You just do not have to give a shit about it.
Exactly.
And that's when things start happening. In terms of that, you literally do not care what anybody's doing. If anybody gets inclined towards your services or not, if they like it, if they're saying something about what you're doing, you just do not have to give a shit. You just have to keep on doing what you believe in, and everything is going to come around after that. So it's kind of like that. A lot of people get stuck into that certain scenario at that time. Circle jerk in friends and family is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
So in order to break that circle jerk in friends and family, you are there till a certain extent, and what you do is that you just break that certain wheel. You are still, defining the industry in one of the other ways with the work that you are doing. And that's what we are doing. We are in a way defining the industry in even a smaller percentage that we can.
What compelled you to start this vessel in the first place? Yo. क्या कर रहे?
Yeah. So the thing is that basically, in that whole scenario, like, repeat your question again. I was just going.
What compelled you to start skill boxes in the first place? Is what I'm asking.
I mean, the thing is that basically there was a need for it. There was a need for a few.
You personally, or like around, like people needed it, or you needed it?
I mean, first thing is that I met like-minded people. Always there has been an idea to kind of start off. I mean, at the end of the day, I also thank my partner Anmol a lot to kind of, poke me around that scenario. He was very persistent. He kept on calling me for a certain few months also. He's
Your
like, oh, what do you
partner.
think about this? Yeah. He's like, what do you think? So I was basically taking a
It's
certain
very.
time.
I feel it's very
to think about
beautiful to start like a company with a friend, and it's all. It's very chill, dude. I like
Yeah, I
doing that.
mean, that's the first thing we did. We became friends, acquaintances, we started talking to used to
Ah.
get calls also in terms of,
Everyone
some
should do it,
recommendations,
bro. I feel that they should start a
suggestions,
company with their friends. They should do it
Yeah,
instead
I
just
mean, you don't
getting drunk
actually
in
have to
a.
be friends as well. It's very complicated if you're friends, actually. We started this thing and then we became friends in, the whole process.
Acha, acha,
But
acha. It was the other way
it
around.
was just like, yeah, it was just like he kept on working for a certain time as well. And I was just like, okay, he has persistence, and that's what I can also, put my time in. Persistence. You
Hmm.
don't back off. You just keep on doing. In fact, this is what we're doing. Whenever we touch base, we're just like, okay, so, we like thing that he shared some time back. We have not
I
come this
love
far to
working
just
with my
run this
friends,
far.
dude. मैं पता है if I want to do like a very small thing, जैसे मेरे को कभी gig भी book करना होता है, if I don't have artists, you remember I called you up कि bro मेरे को artist चाहिए इस
That's
venue
what,
के लिए उसके लिए.
everybody is a friend. Actually, it's a huge circle in the music industry. Every
Not
single
just
person you meet.
music, वैसे भी in general if I want to work something out या कुछ भी work related stuff, I don't work with outsiders किसी भी चीज के लिए. It's just friends I work with.
It's more comfortable. You trust them.
Yeah, man. वही
You
तो.
know them.
Hmm. So,
So that's what the thing is. I mean,
hmm. बता.
compared to start this, we've been speaking from quite some time. It's just like, okay, there is a need. We know that. And
Hmm.
I was very happy in touring, but I was a little sick and tired. That time I was thinking that I actually want to turn my audio career into film specifically and
Hmm.
start making
Hmm.
music for films. Um, but around that time, I also did feel that, getting into music business that deeply,
Hmm.
you need a certain amount of time to, establish that certain base, which we did in
Exactly.
a very less amount of time. We just did it in 2 years altogether.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but it was just basically like there is a need that we have realized.
Hmm.
We have like-minded people, and we are the ones who can actually make it happen. If we say, okay, you know what, fuck it, I would rather chill.
Hmm.
Just chill out. So it's not like kind of we started doing this for our own need. Obviously, it is for our own need as well, for the satisfaction of we made something.
Hmm.
But every single day is just been like kind of that we are doing this for the industry, we are doing it for the artists, we are leaving something behind, we want to make a legacy. Every single person who actually puts an effort, they want to leave something useful behind, they want to leave a legacy behind, and it's not just to keep their effort immortal,
Hmm.
but the importance of it and the importance of its existence, the importance of its application. Why is it required?
Yeah.
Like I said, we have only put out 25% of what we actually do. It's going to be a lot of coming years. Technology again takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time for teams to keep on coding. It takes a hell lot of number
Hmm.
of days and months and years, and the number of people that you have to keep on increasing your team. In order to make it much more better, in order to keep on testing that technology and putting it out. And then you have to promote it. You have to go to people. You have to tell them that this is what it is. You can
Hmm.
use it.
Yeah.
And if you're actually based in music, that's what the thing is. Like I am already have been working in the music industry. My partners were, Anmol, for example, was a coder.
Hmm. Okay.
Previously.
Okay.
And my third partner is just specifically a full-time coder. Um, I'm from the music industry, so in order to understand that, okay, how do we drop this certain application, how to drop this service there are certain challenges, there are certain ways. That's what I've been working on for the past 2 years, how to, break the brick wall and getting it to every single person, yet doing it in a certain very interesting manner. That's why I chose to, start doing a lot of gigs through Skillbox instead of just promoting it normally as a normal application or a platform,
Yeah.
because
Makes sense.
in order to tell something to the music industry, this is what it is, this is how it has to be used, and this is how it is beneficial, you
Hmm.
need to stand there and hold certain dominance.
Sweet.
Why will people listen to you?
Exactly. Makes sense. Acha, tell me some of the most influential people in your life, the people you look up to, your
Oh, that's
inspiration
a nice
sort of.
question.
Hmm?
It's a very nice question. Um, I mean, the biggest person that I look up to is actually, I mean, Elon Musk. I'm a huge fan. Uh, how he started since he was very young. It came to him. Technology came to him. He
Yeah.
was young. He just had a computer. He started coding. He was
Hmm.
young. He made PayPal with a few people as an entrepreneur. Then he started off going to
I
Tesla. This
love him
guy's a
though.
religious.
सही में.
Yeah, I mean, he is a
Better than
religious.
those Steve Jobs and all of those guys जिन्होंने दूसरों से काम करवाया. He did.
They did some
Yeah.
amazing work as well, but it's not exactly like you have to. A big part of being an innovator is to know how to get shit done from other people who just know how to do work and they cannot run their uh, creativity, their vision. Vision is the most important thing in life.
Exactly.
So in that sense, it's basically like I mean, for God's sake, we all know about Nikola Tesla and
Hmm. Hmm.
created a company that to electrical cars on it, and he even sent one to space.
Budget
Tesla
space
going around
rockets.
in space. He never would have thought about it when, like, hundreds of years back, when
Oh.
this was happening. But yeah, I mean, that's the person I look up to majorly. But it's kind of like I don't know. You can get inspired from some people, but in order to looking up to some people, you can't really say anything. Only thing you have to do is just keep an open mind.
Exactly.
Looking
तो
up
आप
to someone is like worshipping them faithfully as well.
नहीं
In,
इतना
in,
नहीं.
in in music, I do look up to a lot of people. In terms of life, I do look up to a lot of people actually. So,
That's what I'm
major
asking.
ones. Tom York, one name on number one list. Tom York, James Blake, very much. I've been really looking up to Sedda Lisa these days as a person, as a musician, and as a artist. Sadda Lisa has been through a lot. Her music is amazing. Recent album Shabarang she just released a few weeks back.
She's
Man,
singer-songwriter.
she's a producer, singer, songwriter, kind of scenario. You can say a musician. It's much more simpler. Music is getting complicated these days. Huh? You can't put up a designation to it easily. It's like genders evolving.
अच्छा
So
थोड़ा
yeah, I
थोड़ा
mean, majorly who I look up to is Tom York in
Tom York
music,
in
what
music
he has
and
done.
life in
Everything,
general, Elon Musk.
everything. His expression of music, things that he talks about, his perception of this world altogether. I mean, if I get a chance to be his servant to mop the floor, I will accept it with all. I'll just be like, okay, just whenever you're making music, I'll mop your floor. It's not I'll be around. I'll just allow me to look through your window while I'm cutting your grass, kind of thing.
So yeah.
I literally worship the man. So
Hmm. Yeah. अच्छा कुछ ये लास्ट फ्यू क्वेश्चंस मेरे को तेरे से ये पूछना था कि थोड़ा अपना फेलियर्स शेयर कर मेरे साथ रॉक बॉटम जब तूने हिट किया अपनी लाइफ में
sorry, what? I'm
अपनी
sorry.
लाइफ
Just
के
give me one.
फेलियर्स थोड़ा शेयर कर रॉक बॉटम्स अपनी
Yeah,
लाइफ
yeah, sure, sure. Just give me one.
में
Yeah, sorry about that. So what are you asking? Fear?
failures rock bottoms what did you learn from it
Everything actually. You can't be where you are without the failures. It's like discipline is the most important thing that I learned, and not being in discipline and being in discipline at the same time. I think is the balance. Being too disciplined also hits you.
yeah
Being totally undisciplined also hits you. So you
exactly
need to have a balance. You need to have your priorities. There's a certain time you have to follow that certain time. There's certain importance of doing something. You have to follow that certain importance of doing something. Most importantly, set your priorities right. Keep everything clear in your head because You move around too much, you think around too much, nothing's going to work out. Most important thing around this sense is that control your substances actually.
Yeah.
Anything there is that I'm not saying it as a failure, I'm saying it as a lesson. Um, I could say that it's not like nobody failed, nobody experienced failures, but I actually did witness a lot of failures with other people, which I used to be around with,
Because of
and I learned a
external
lot from that.
substances.
Well, a lot of substances, I mean, majorly mind-altering substances. People smoking, drinking too much, tripping too much, kind of scenario. The biggest problem in India and music industry, you do not need to literally resort to drugs, majorly, on a very, very much more deeper level. That's something that I was able to learn, not from my experiences. My experiences have been uh, pretty chill. I actually do not care about that scenario in that sense, and I've never been inclined towards these things. But it got me thinking quite a lot that how and why, at the end of the day, that I am making a lot of music as well as an artist, as an artistic expression and inspiration. There are a lot of other ways in terms of looking into yourself rather than doing it, because I did see a lot of instances. I lost a few friends in past few years as well, the same scenario. So that's something that I was able to learn not from my failure, but other people's failure. And that's one of the biggest fear that I see, that people losing everything with just that whole small aspect. Might be anything, but nothing's more beautiful than life and a healthy life.
Yep. That's very nice
That's
to
one thing.
hear. Yeah.
People
So
need to take care of each other, man, especially at this time in the music industry.
true. These are hard times, no? Especially for
It's a great time for all the DJs to detox.
artists. Put your hands up in the air. Oh, there's nobody.
कोई टेक्नो बोल के टेक हाउस बजा रहे हैं, चल रहा है सीन.
अच्छा एक चीज बता मेरे को
Farm
नितिन
houses.
कि what's that one thing you had known when you were just starting out, अगर तेरे को अभी पता होता तो life would have been so much simpler is what I want to know. कि अभी जो तेरे को पता है, तेरे को 10वीं में पता होता तो life would have been so much easier. ऐसा कुछ है?
I actually tell a lot of my friends about this thing, who keep on going through certain troubles. It's very simple actually. Your mental health is in your hands. It's just a realization. Anything that's bothering you, anything you might be going through, anything you might be depressed about, stressed about, it's one switch. You need to just find it and it's off.
How do you do that? Through
So I
meditation,
see
through physical exercises? How do you do it?
nothing. It's just realization. Just need to realize it. Somebody can just tell it to you. If you're able to think about it, how it actually makes sense, you will be like, okay, you know what, this is just too minute, this doesn't even exist. Like anger doesn't exist. Try and go and find anger. The moment you try and find anger, it's gone. Where is it?
Exactly.
If you're angry right now, I tell you to bring the anger tomorrow, will you be able to get it? Is it something you can hold on to? Same goes with every emotion, it's kind of like, I see my friends, man, they're taking medication and shit, man. They're
For
eating
what?
pills like for their mental health. Some of them are depressed, some of them are anxious. They're eating pills.
No, it's not
At
like
one time,
it's coming because of their life. It comes from genetics as well. No, कि अगर dad depressed है तो बच्चा भी हो ही जाता है.
I feel it's very simple actually. It's just realization. That's why a lot of psychiatrists, therapists, they help them realize. They help them, uh, reflect, which actually gets better. Realization, I think, heals you better than any medicine actually. Only thing that it's doing is maybe adjusting the chemical balance in your brain, but the time that you have forgot your drug at home, the pills that you've been taking, and you feel like you're getting a panic attack. I've been through anxiety as well. All it took was realization. I was just like, why was I eating this? So that's the same thing I tell to a few of my friends, that they're panicking. They're like, oh shit, they're feeling a little different. They forgot the medicine. And I'm just like, what are you getting into? It's simple. That's the thing that I figured out later on. Only thing you have to do is you're stressed about something. You're like, does it matter or not? It does not matter actually. What is going to happen? Are you going to die?
Maybe they feel like they're gonna die or something. No? They won't die.
That's what the problem is. You're not going to die. Your problems do not matter. It does not matter in terms
Yeah,
of the
at
universe.
least
You
die
don't
if
even
you're thinking
exist.
so much.
You don't even exist in the universe if you compare yourself to the cosmic
Ah.
level.
Hmm.
You're just like, okay, the purpose here is just expressing yourself. The cosmos is it's a very simple thing that I can say. The cosmos, you are the cosmos, who is expressing itself through itself in one of the other ways. You are nothing but an expression of universe.
Oh, that's a very Alan Wattsy kind of.
No, it's just the simple aspect. You're like, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about if I'm gonna, I don't know, what is this guy thinking about me or something, it's just some shit like, my boss is gonna fire me. Oh, I fucked up. And okay, I understand you fucked up. I understand that you fucked up with your relationships with your family. Uh, but what's gonna happen if you keep on sitting and getting stressed about that?
Exactly.
I think the one thing that I learned is the answer to your question is simplifying it. It prevents you from all of the shit. Forward is the only thing. Like the man, the most inspiring character, you say Donald Draper, Madman, as he said. The only way is forward.
Exactly.
Past does not exist. Even for your lessons, it does not exist. You do not learn from past. You do not teach from past. You can take inspiration from past. If an artist, you can think about it and express something out of it. But it doesn't matter only.
Beautiful.
It just the way forward should be the thing. And if it's the way forward, you'll stop thinking shit and eating pills. You won't have anxiety. Somebody scammed you for like 10 CR, dude. That guy already scammed you. What are you going to do? You can't you're not going to keep on drinking for it, right? You're not
Yeah.
going to die for it. Just figure out maybe you can make 1 CR more. Or if you can't do anything with that guy, you develop anxiety. It's very natural.
Exactly.
You need
Exactly.
to open your mind. That's it. If people realize it at an early age, I think they can accomplish way much more than
True.
what they're able
True.
to.
Nice. चल सही है अब इसको थोड़ा रैप अप करते हैं नितिश हाँ तो
काफी टाइम 2 घंटा हो गया
हाँ 2 घंटा हो गया तो थोड़ा बता जो टू द लिसनर्स वेयर दे कैन कनेक्ट विद यू ऑनलाइन और वो सारी चीजें where can they
Sorry,
find
come
you
again.
for the listeners just tell them how they can connect with you online Facebook Instagram पे कैसे connect करे if an
Yeah, I
artist wants
mean,
to connect
my
with you
name is pretty unique on Instagram, so you'll find me. I'm planning to release some music that I've been working on from years soon enough by winters. Again, we are actually working on releasing some very, very interesting features on Skillbox with a very special look that we might be dropping in within a week. It's
oh
going to be like very nice for people to kind of use the new appearance of Skillbox. With that, it's basically like, I mean, I don't know. What are you going to do if you find me? It's just like, but do stay
maybe
tuned in
जैसे
terms of what.
like if they want to connect with you ask you
Yeah,
that
please.
for the
If any of the artists wants any advice, just drop me a call. I'm more than happy to. I'm speaking to a lot of artists every day in terms of how they're doing. It helps me also to kind of get an analysis because I'm working a lot of analytics, statistical analysis in terms of what's been happening.
जब
That we
बोल
can
रहे
at least.
बोल रहे what are they going to do eventually अगर वो मेरे को मैसेज करे are you going to send me dick pics
No, dude, it's just been like so. I actually am not able to speak to so many people. In fact, lines actually. My WhatsApp is flooded. My email address is like Facebook Messenger. So forget about it. Sometimes I'm not very active on Facebook Messenger. It's just like the messages keeps on coming. So weekend पे थोड़ा time मिलता है सारा दिन बैठ के तो मैं replies करता रहता हूँ कई बार. But it gets hectic, like so many clients, so many people, so many artists that you can speak to. But I would love to kind of get in touch with any of the artists who wants any advice, any help linking up with somebody if you need. If you're looking for something, someone you can just message me on Instagram or WhatsApp. Would love to connect to a few people, listen to your music. We are constantly looking for new music to listen to.
Yeah.
actually.
Chal, beautiful dude. Thanks for your time, bro. It was lovely talking to you.
No, thanks for
Nitish,
inviting me.
Nitish aka Dubwaner. Chal, sahi hai. Thanks, bro.
No, thanks again for inviting me.
Cheers, bro.
This I can say that actually everybody take care. Things are going to be really great. We're all going to party hard in December, by the way. It's going to go crazy, rampage, rage,
सही है
everything.
पक्का से
2020 in a nutshell.
let's do it nigga चलो
Sweet. Thanks again, man.
see you bye bye take care bro